James, how proud are you all to be playing at the Amex for the first time ever on Sunday?
To be honest, we were a little bit speechless when we first heard the news, but we've had a lot of time to sort of get accustomed to it, and now it's just about preparations and making sure that we're ready to go. So it's sort of been a huge build-up, which we've known for quite some time now. So it'll be. I would imagine that it will hit me as soon as I walk out the tunnel, just to sort of be in the ground and to see the girls, straight from the warm-up, to look at the crowd and, just to see how far we've all come as a group, really. I think that will be the most powerful thing for me on the day. But obviously it's my job to be professional, and we're there to do a job, and we're there to get the 3 points. So I'll have to make sure that sort of we're all set up and we're all focused on that first.
Well, can it work in both ways? It can inspire your team, but it could lift the opposition as well, playing in such a stadium.
Yeah, definitely. I think so, especially being obviously invited to play in such a venue. I think for them it will give them an extra 5 and 10% boost as well. So obviously they'll have their fans there as well. So it will be sort of, a big occasion for both teams. But I'm hoping that obviously being the home team and being in our ground, then we're hoping that it will give us that little bit more impetus to bring home the points.
Do you feel you've earned it as a club? As a team, you've earned the right to have this opportunity by the performances, the way the club have integrated you, and the way you've given back.
I would like to think so. I'd like to think that we've earned it. The girls work ridiculously hard, and all my staff and all the backroom team, they work long hours, and majority of them have got double jobs. So they sort of start work at 7 o'clock in the morning and finish at 10 o'clock at night, just for the sort of the love of the badge and to be associated with Brighton Hove Albion. For me personally, it's an honour. It's something that we're really, really looking forward to, and I do feel like we've earned the right to play there, and I'm just hoping that we can show everybody else that, and I'm hoping that we can put in a performance that would merit us returning to the Amex. That will be our aim.
Well, spot on. It's a potential showcase. Big crowd, people coming on possibly for the first time. A chance you need to take on that level, and a game you need to win in terms of promotion.
Yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day, and we're fully aware that obviously big days can have completely the opposite effect as well. So we'll be nice and prepared. We've had some good sessions this week. The last 2 training sessions we've done have been unbelievable. Probably the best 2 training sessions that I've had since I've been at the club. And it's no surprise, obviously, it's the week leading up to the Amex. Everybody's raised their game. All the coaching staff have raised their game. So we'll be prepared for it, and it's my job to make sure everybody's got a clear focus and a clear goal in what we want to achieve on Sunday. So as long as everybody can go out there and give me 110%, no matter what goes on, that's all I can ask. And as long as everybody gives their very best, then I'll be happy with whatever happens.
And sitting in Chris Hughton's chair, might that give you
I was going to say
ideas above yours?
It's quite comfortable.
Aspirational ideas on Sunday? What you want to do with your career?
I wouldn't mind joining Chris in the dugout on Saturday just to see how he works, but I don't think that'll be happening. But in terms of what I want to do, it's sort of, this has been the biggest game of my career to date as well. So I'll be very, very proud to stand there and watch the girls walk out the tunnel, and just to look around the venue and just to think that this would be something that I'd want to aspire to every week. So for me personally, it's definitely a goal that I'd love to achieve. And if I get my head down and work hard, the same as what the players do, and hopefully that'll be something that may be reachable in the distant future.
Good luck.
Thank you.
James, there's potential there on Saturday to smash the record for attendance in Britain at a ladies' game, isn't there? There must be something you're looking to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the integration that we have with the club has helped us hugely. We wouldn't have nowhere near as much interest as we've got without the media guys at the club and the hard work that they've put in, the amount of flyers that have gone out, the amount of social media interest we've had. I've done quite a few interviews, which has been really, really nice. The players have been out there as well. They've done huge amounts for us. So I won't be surprised if we break the attendance record, if I'm honest, because the fan base that they've got down here and the love they have for the club is absolutely huge. So it won't be a surprise, but it probably will be a little bit of a shock to turn around and see the amount of supporters that we're hoping for. I think that will be probably a bigger shock than to sort of worry about the numbers for us as coaches and players. But I'm really confident that we can do it.
Looking at the season so far, pleased with how it's gone?
Yeah, really pleased, yeah. Obviously you want to be number one, and I'd like to have sort of played 12, won 12, because we want perfection. We don't want anything less at this football club. So we had a bit of a blip a few weeks ago, but we've managed to sort that out now, and we're now four weeks unbeaten again. So, you know, for me, it's just about continuing that run, and we need to stay as consistent as we can, and if we do that, then we'll reach our target, which is obviously getting the Women's Super League.
Are there any fears that potentially Sunday the players could freeze on the big stage and it could be a bit too much for them?
I will be very, 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 very surprised if they do freeze. If I'm being honest, with going by the standard at training and the intensity that they've been working at, I'll be very surprised if they do freeze. I can only see a positive performance. I can only see a positive reaction, and especially once we kick off and they hear the roar from the crowd, I can only see that spurring them on. And knowing what I've been with quite a few of them a long time, and knowing what they're like, that will spur them on. There will be nerves there. There'll be no denying that. But once the whistle goes, everybody will be focused on what their job is and what our targets are, and we'll stick to those. And sort of once the whistle goes, it doesn't really matter who's in the crowd, if that makes sense. But when we put the ball in the net, then obviously they'll be happy to hear as loud a cheers as possible.
And what are you expecting from Charlton?
They'll be a good side. We know quite a lot about Charlton, which obviously helps us. They'll be a good side, and their aim is to get in the Women's Super League as well. And they're obviously joint top of us at the moment. So they won last week 2-1 at QPR, and they're on a winning run as well. So it sort of sets it up really nicely this week for the neutral. Not so nice for me, because obviously I'd like them to have a little bit of a dip in form. But I feel that we've got enough in a squad, and we've definitely got enough in the starting 11 to be able to take them apart.
Brilliant, thanks.
James, you mentioned obviously the fact that Charlton are right up there with you. That being the case, obviously, given the occasion, I guess it's too early in the season to say it's a title decider, but it's obviously a hugely important game as to who could go on to win the Premier League this season, out of whoever wins out of you two. Yeah,
I mean, in this league there's 5 or 6 teams that could go and win it. So I mean, when we all play each other, everybody's looking for who's gonna drop points. So it's definitely not a title decider, but if we get beat, they could potentially go 6 points in front. So that makes it very, very difficult to sort of claw back 6 points with 7 or 8 games to go. But having said that, everybody's got to play each other, and there's some big games coming up. So Charlton got to play Coventry, Cardiff. They've still got Portsmouth. They've still got to play those teams. So points will be dropped from now to the end of the season. It's just, for me, it's going to be the most consistent team wins on the day, really, and that's what we're hoping to be.
And in the build-up to this match, obviously, in the months prior, you've always been talking about just look ahead to the next fixture. Now that this is the next fixture, has the excitement been growing sort of day by day for you?
Oh, I'm absolutely, I'm up by the sky at the moment. I need to bring myself down a little bit. I don't want to peak too early, but as soon as Monday hit, you sort of start to get them nerves and them butterflies. But once they come in for training yesterday, it's about me making sure that I'm professional and putting my feelings aside, because I'm not important on Sunday. The girls are. And it's just about me making sure that they're prepared and they're ready. And then obviously after the game, I'm hoping that I'll be having a nice chat and would have picked up the 3 points, and then I can enjoy the experience. But it's certainly not about me at the weekend. It's about the players, and as long as they enjoy it as well as picking up the points, I'll be very, very happy.
James, are you surprised at the change in attitude towards women's football? I mean, it was always, a man's game, and it was suddenly, particularly this year, it seems to have really, really gone on.
I think what Mark Sampson and his team have done in the World Cup has certainly give it that extra push. But I think women's football has been sort of like a quiet volcano as such, just obviously waiting to erupt. And I think it's had a little bit of a kick with England doing so well in the World Cup, and with the amount of viewers that they ended up getting, I think. Women's football is there to be enjoyed as much as the men's game. I think it's very important that you don't sort of try and pit the women's game up against the men's game, because it is two completely different. Although it's the same sport, it's two completely different games. So I think as soon as people stop sort of mixing the two together, then I think there's a real audience there for women's football, and it would probably be more family orientated. But I'm not surprised that there's been a real huge kick in the game.
What's your ultimate ambition for the sport and for Brighton?
To get into the Women's Super League, that's our first ambition, and then obviously to go as far up the league as we can, and we'll look to get promoted into the WSL 1. I mean, for me personally, I'd be like nothing less for us to turn professional, and to train every day like the men do, and to achieve the Champions League. That's one of our biggest goal, and we feel that can be attainable. It may take us a few years to do that, obviously, from where we are at the moment, but it is definitely attainable for us, and for us to step out to the Champions League music at the Amex, that would be sort of the ultimate goal. I mean, for me, for the club anyway.